Hey, so the 11th Jinki goes from the shadow of obscurity to the city of light through the gift of idealism. And to me, in some ways, this is the most subtle of the Jinkis and also the most difficult to speak to. And I'm going to try to be brief because it's also one of the most beautiful ones. Light is consciousness, and it's not the visible light of the spectrum that we can see. It's the universal light, the light which is the emanation of consciousness, and that reveals all, because consciousness is revelation as well. I think that's another Jinki. Yes, it is indeed. So you can have fun looking at the 64 names of the cities, because they are all, the names of consciousness in a way, the archetypes of consciousness. And what happens at the shadow level is that light is basically reduced to the one that we use, that we treat within our neurology to fabricate the world that we live in. The world that we live in being not just the present moment, because we're mostly at that level, we're not present at all. We're living in the present moment, biologically, of course, but we're relating to, psychically, the past. And from that past, we fabricate a future. And we do this linear dance within an attitude where we are separate from the rest. So there's a lot of really low frequencies that have to deal with, the trials and tribulations of human experience since the dawn of time, which is stored within our memories. And stored, what is stored? What is memories? What are we? We are light. I mean, the electric and the magnetic and all of the, energetic components of what we call matter, what we call neurons and cells and organs and all of these parts that make up this, the human vehicle. So obscurity is that reduction of light that becomes duality, and that functions in human limited consciousness, egoic consciousness, which is identified and separated and misperceiving, then creates a theater, a theater of archetypes which span the whole spectrum from the darkest dark to the lightest light. And how do we relate to that? How do we identify and disassociate from that? How we are glued and stuck to our projections and to our perceptions. That's what obscurity is. As we come back to ourselves and relax and remember, or begin to, it's a process. As we do this journey home to our light, as we get closer to it, then that limited dimension called obscurity begins to open up and reveal the gold that is called idealism, which is what happens when the energies, the frequencies begin to rise. And when we examine idealism, it can take many different shapes and forms, but it's all basically about harmony. in coherency and truth, goodness, beauty, you know, the attributes of the divine, of the consciousness, of the one, of the I am, lifting in that direction. And what is harmony and coherency? But the capacity to integrate the whole. It's not about cutting things out. It's not fundamentalism. That's obscurity. It's about a deep integration and transcendence. So transcending the shadow is integrating the shadow. So it's going through, you talk about the dark night of the soul, that's obscurity, and that's the gift. The gift of that passage that allows you to reconnect with what light truly is. Which is you, which is me, which is all of us, which is, and I don't just mean humans, all of the creatures, all of the beings, all of the atoms, all of the planks. Sit in the darkness. Allow yourself to melt into the darkness and to realize that what you're melting into is your consciousness. And that your consciousness sees, knows, is. The darkness, the potential, the ultimate potentiality, the womb of creation, right? It's so beautiful. Anyway, that's it in a nutshell. I hope it helps. And thank you for being with me today. Ciao, ciao.